Correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
With the aid of the holy warrior Moroni Johnson, the gang defeated the Inquisition's bloodhounds, a pack of vampires tortured into mindless savagery and subservience, forcing their handler, the mysterious confessor, to retreat. Not knowing how much time they have before the Inquisition's more conventional forces find them, the gang flees the sanctuary of the holy warrior's home to seek asylum with the vampire lord of Las Vegas, the Strigoi Stefan, owner of the nightclub Sanguine Desire. But even if the vampires grant them asylum, there is no telling how long they will be safe within the den of a band of bloodthirsty monsters. And there are still other forces left at play. So, all of us in the delivery van, we head over to Sanguine Desire. As we are on the way, we pass several cop cars with their sirens blaring, blazing past us. And then less than 10 minutes later, that happens again, coming from the other direction.
Andy's the one driving, right?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Is there anyone like the passenger seat next to her?
I think
Joan.
we established Joan was in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Joan's in the passenger.
But you can probably like lean over.
Hey, Joan, can you turn on the radio and see what's up with the police real quick? If there's anything on the news.
I don't really listen to the radio. What station would that be?
What station would that be, Jonathan?
I don't know. I don't listen to the radio.
He could suggest to just look around, there's the whole...
Yeah. Just tune the radio till you find the channel that sounds like the news.
She starts going, it's 95.5.
Oh my gosh.
Like, the coyote.
What?
I
Now
love it
you have
already.
a friend in the diamond business.
No, you should a lot of this. So I used to listen to the radio back in high school, and there are stations like the country stations are something the bull and something the coyote, and they've got like a little jingle that they do with them.
Yeah.
Except for the bull. The bull is like is blah 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 the bull.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's going through these channels. Like this is mix 94.1. And finally gets to the suspect of the recent killings is still at large. The police have several units out and have promised us that they are doing their absolute best to find this criminal and bring him to justice.
So they're pinning everything.
We have a pronoun,
Yep.
which means that we might have a description, which is not great.
The police would like everyone to look out for the suspect and call them with any information. The suspect is described as 6'3" with black hair and Native American features, wearing a shawl.
Voltaire just leans over. He's just like, I told you that shawl would be your undoing.
Are we really doing that right now? Right now? What are we gonna do about this?
See. Cat turns to Cayden. Well, looks like I might have to split from the group after all, Cayden.
I still think that's not the best idea.
Yeah, but I think it'd be best if you guys didn't have a now wanted criminal with you. It'd probably just complicate things a heck of a lot more than they already are.
Yeah, but you're just as much a part of this as we all are. And for you to just kind of split off for a time or indefinitely, I don't know, and just being by yourself, we have no guarantee that those were the only bloodhounds that the Inquisition had.
On the other hand, we are heading into the dead center of the city with lots of people.
And from the sounds of it, they are blaming Rian here for everything. Not just what we were involved in.
Okay. I've got an idea. It will take some time, though. So Rian will probably need to lay low further away for a bit. Voltaire, you've got, infinite money, right?
I wouldn't go so far as to say infinite, but I am I have a bit.
So, if you go through the right channels, you could get a stone of glamour.
No, that is an idea.
Similar to what I can do, but it sticks around, and I don't have to constantly focus on Rian to keep the illusion up. I can't do that forever.
I believe I will be able to find one.
If you don't mind me asking, what exactly is a stone of glamour?
Do you remember last...
You know what the glamour is, yes?
Yes, I remember what a glamour is.
It's a stone that gives you a glamour.
Oh.
It is a stone of glamour.
We used it to get... Elianna got cut off earlier, but she's also going to...
Joan did a glamour on everyone to go into the preserve? Reserve? Which one was it?
The Springs Preserve.
Preserve. It's preserve. Joan used a glamour spell to disguise everyone going into the Springs Preserve. I used a glamour stone because she couldn't cover everyone. So, how long would it take you to get one?
Let me make a few calls.
All right, so you're going to need to make a wealth check here.
Oh, it's been a minute.
Wow, that's convenient.
Been a minute.
Jonah's glamours are rarity 8, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh my gosh.
That's convenient.
What is your wealth?
I have 5 ranks and 5 presents.
Laws.
Yeah.
You have 5 presents?
When did you get medication?
Last session.
Bruh.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
you spent another presents?
Yes.
Nice.
Honesty opens up your aura.
It just
wait, that hasn't happened yet.
I figured with him occasionally dipping into, angel magic.
That's fair.
Yeah, that does it. That's
glow up.
Okay. Sorry, so they're rarity 6, so it'll be easier than I thought. So yeah, you're almost certainly going to this with your 5 yellows.
That's so ridiculous.
That's a hard check. So so with 5 ranks, anything rarity 5 or below you can just get, but 6 and higher you have to still make a check.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Not that it matters, because...
Oh gosh.
Well, would you look at that? The success with the triumph.
Hey, there you go.
Get that discount.
2 stone.
You make it, you could either get more than 1, or you could get it, what's that called? First day delivery?
Same day delivery?
Priority
Same day
shipping.
delivery.
I think same day delivery would be priority.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Same day delivery, but we're nearing the end of the day, so.
Yes.
What
So,
time of day is
same
it?
day delivery
Afternoon.
isn't necessarily actually the same day. Same day delivery just means,
Within 24 hours.
yes.
Usually.
Cool.
All right. So,
I should be able to have one within the next 24 hours.
well, money talks, I guess.
It certainly does.
I think money yells. For both.
Well, in the meantime, what are we gonna do?
Rian, you got any ideas?
I mean, I do have a campsite set up just a couple miles outside of the city. I mean, that'd be a good place to lay low for a while.
Or you could go to the storm drains.
Wait, isn't your truck with Andy's van in the storm drains?
Yeah, well, at least want to bring you over there.
We could drop him at the truck, and then he could take his truck to the campsite.
Yeah, that'd be good. Take him outside the city.
Okay, so we just need to get you to your truck.
Yeah.
All right. Where am I going?
Back to the storm drain where we were before. A while back.
Cool.
Feels like a week ago now. All right,
And
so
just
we drive.
has to stop and think for a second. Like, wait, has it been a week?
It feels like it.
All right, so
I didn't say that
we
out loud. She was just thinking.
yeah. So we drive over to the storm drain and drop Rian off. Right?
Yay.
Don't get yourself killed, Rian,
Seriously.
or arrested.
Hey, I'll do my best to stay down low. Now you all take care of yourselves and try to get some rest.
We'll do our best going to hang out with the vampires.
Elianna looks extremely frustrated and concerned, but she doesn't say anything.
Well, hey, y'all just take care of yourselves, all right?
Right back at you.
Do our best.
All right. And then
Bye.
we leave.
They leave.
We
Rian.
leave.
Are crosses bad for vampires in this universe, or are they like don't matter?
Yes and no. Faith is a weakness of vampires, and symbols of faith. We're in the van. Andi is driving. We left Rian over by the tunnel where his truck and Andy's van are, and we are heading towards Sanguine Desire.
When we left the house, Cayden actually seemed to be... The fight against that vampires energized him in a way. Like, it made him, like, put him on a kind of high for a bit. I would feel that high is gone now as they leave Rian in the tunnels. He's no longer in that high energy state he was before. He was in a good mood, and now he's, like, not.
Okay. Yeah. And so as we head through the city towards Sanguine Desire, Joan looks out the window and comments "We're being watched."
By who?
I don't know for sure, but my best guess would be my godmother.
Oh, great.
Well, that's comforting.
We've got some run-alongs.
Are they going to pose a problem?
I don't think so. The run-alongs are... They don't... how do I explain run-alongs? Voltaire, you're too old. Did any of you, when you were kids, and you were on a road trip or something, driving across the country or whatever, or just driving regularly, ever imagine seeing something running alongside your vehicle?
Yeah. I've seen a few things, actually.
Andi just looks thoughtful.
Eliana's eyes just snap onto Joan, but she doesn't say anything.
Run-alongs are fey creatures, both seelie and unseelie, but they're not much of a danger themselves. They're mostly just eyes for the she. Children can see them, and those with fairy eyes.
Excellent. If they won't pose a problem, then the more the merrier.
All right.
Where's Joan sitting in this delivery truck situation?
She is... Yeah, she'd probably be in the passenger seat looking out the window.
Yeah, Cayden looks like he's about to move and do something, but decides to stay where he is.
All right, we continue on to Sanguine Desires.
I assume someone's giving me directions. At least Google's giving me directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sanguine Desire is an actual club, so you can just type it. Well, not in the real world, but in our...
Well, yeah. No, in our fictional world, it's real. Like everything else. Wait, so there can be normal people there?
Yeah.
Weird.
Some.
All right.
All right, so we arrive at Sanguine Desire, I guess.
Yes. Where? I'm just going to park outside of it. Is there parking spaces? Last time you said I had to go to a parking garage.
So Sanguine Desire does not have its own parking garage.
I'm asking if there's street parking.
Yes, there is. Normally, the street parking would be completely filled in front of the club, but not right now.
What time is
That's conspicuous.
I mean,
What time is it?
Also, the Inquisition, regardless of what time it is, the Inquisition is running rampant through the city, and they are obsessively faithful.
That's true.
In a really
Valid
horrible way, but
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, last time we said a time was like 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah, it was sometime in the
Wednesday.
afternoon.
It was sometime in the afternoon. Yeah.
It's Thursday today.
because we woke up in the morning, we drove like 10 or something, and then we drove to Elianna's dad's house, and then we were there for like an hour and a half or something, and then we went to Moroni Johnson's house.
And we fought him at like 2 while the sun was high.
2? Okay.
I think so.
Right, because
We
the
were
sun
there-
being high
actually-
was a whole thing.
So maybe 3-ish?
Yeah.
The
that
club's
sounds
not
ac-
busy. It's 3 p.m.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
drink all
It's
the
a night-
time in this party.
It's a nightclub for a reason.
Is it even open?
Yeah.
Let's find out, I guess.
The door is not open, but there are 2 large men standing in front of it.
Well, that's welcoming.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Voltaire just addresses everyone and just like, well, now's as good a time to see how Stefan is as we're gonna get.
Andressa just goes to the back and she gets into her duffel and she starts changing. Because who doesn't bring nightclub clothes?
Did you bring your duffel with you in the...
Yeah, I
Oh.
specifically said that.
All right, there you go.
Fair enough. All right.
Voltaire, do you want to take the lead, or should I?
I don't know. You seem to rather enjoy yourself last time I did the talking.
It was quite entertaining.
To tell you what, I'll give it a try, and if I crash and burn, then
I can pick up your pieces.
you can certainly try. People have tried for centuries.
Andressa gives a short laugh.
Yeah. So Voltaire's gonna walk up to the 2 burly gentlemen at the door.
Burly gentleman number 1.
We're closed.
I am aware of that. I am here to seek an audience with Stefan.
We're closed. He points at the sign on the door that says closed.
Pretty good argument.
Voltaire points to the ring on his finger and says, I am here to see your boss.
So this guy is a decent amount taller than you, and 2 of you across.
Oh, yeah.
And he turns a bit to face you more directly and looks down at you. We're closed.
Well, we tried to do this civilly. Joan, I could use a hand.
Joan walks up. Are you saying I'm not civil?
No, I'm saying you're much more persuasive than I can be in public.
I was ready for him to whip out his shotgun.
Yeah, that's when he said we tried doing this civilly. I thought he was going to try to throw down with this guy.
He's whipped out a shotgun on far less notice.
True.
It's true. He's a changed man.
Most of the time, that was in an elevator, and that was other places where it wasn't within the sight of the general public.
That's fair.
That's a good point.
I think Andressa is still in the van, changing.
Cool.
Then Cayden's in the back,
whatever
kind of
happened
observing from a distance.
Elianna just followed the group. I don't know. She's not present in this moment.
Yeah.
Actually, could we make a perception check on those 2? I just kind of want to see if there's more than just they're big.
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably magical.
It's the same. -2 black die, 3 yellow, 1 green, and 2 blue die. We'll get that rank 4 in perception eventually. It's coming. I just had to put it into other things first.
This is why you min-max.
All right, success with the triumph.
Oh my
Oh, well, there you go.
You can tell what these guys ate for breakfast.
Sure,
So
that's what I get.
That's how well you can see.
A hefty. Well, C doesn't matter because he's not looking at him.
Nope.
Right? Sorry.
Get a nice good whiff.
You can smell the testosterone coming off of these guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's pleasant. Smells like the color brown. Your thoughts?
They are completely human, but with that triumph, you can also smell a slight wrongness.
What kind of wrongness are we talking about?
You've got a little bit of experience in this department.
Oh, fun.
No, this isn't good.
The smell of their emotions is off. It's the sort of effect that you've encountered when they've been messed with in some way.
Possibly by a rainbow-eyed hooligan who just happens to be married to a rather powerful necromancer that we know.
What a sentence.
Yeah, I didn't expect that to come out of my mouth either.
As fun as that would be, my initial thoughts on that is not that, though something similar, like some kind of emotional manipulation / brainwashing is like what I'm feeling, but like not to the extent of the Mindbreaker. I feel like that'd be a much more distinct thing if it was
you're getting the feeling this has a little bit more finesse than the rainbow-dyed cleaver.
We don't know how much finesse he has.
We don't.
The dude's title is the Mindbreaker, not the Mind.
And most of the stories associated with him, he doesn't really leave people with much of any sense, really.
No, but I'm just
much less
saying.
The ability to be like point and say we're closed.
I'm just saying.
It'd probably come out more like no.
I'm just saying punching someone just generally in the brain is less interesting than it could be. I don't know. It doesn't sound that fun, to be honest. He's had a while to mess around and experiment.
I guess.
Anyway, what's Joan doing?
That's a good question.
Sorry, I distracted you.
Yeah, I got distracted talking about other thing.
Now I'm just imagining Joan just vaporizing one of them with a bolt of lightning.
Oh, that is so not Joan's style.
Nope, it is not.
Hey, that was what flashed through my brain.
That's what Voltaire would do if he were Joan.
If Voltaire had Joan's powers.
How did he get in here last time? Like, she just walked up and was like, "Hey, I know Julie."
Yeah, but that was
they were also open.
Yeah, they were open.
True.
The problem is that we can't get in instead it's not open.
She might not even be here.
I mean, it's not during typical work hours since it's closed.
Drop a name.
Voltaire, his initial thing was, "I'm going to kill one of you," but then he's just like, "I'm trying to be a better person."
Yeah, Elianna just
the struggle.
She could try.
Oof. Oh gosh.
That would be interesting.
Let's see what Joan is
I want to
gonna do.
We've handed the baton off to Joan. See what happens.
All right. So, Cayden will smell a shift in the air around Joan.
Fun. I always like that.
Followed by the scent of perfume covering up the scent of very faintly
deception
Ooh.
rotting flesh.
Ew.
Ooh.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
I got you.
And so Joan comes forward and Voltaire notices that. So Joan's already pretty pale. She's a redhead. But
she's a little extra pale.
But she's extra pale, and her eyes, instead of silver, are bright red. And she smiles at the guards and her, like, showing a pair of fangs. Don't worry, boys. He's with me.
Voltaire just hides his mouth behind his hand and is just he's the devil's grin.
So first,
there's a small smile.
First, they got to make a perception check.
It's always fun.
How strong?
Because they are bodyguards for a nightclub run by actual vampires.
Also, like, how strong is Joan's lesbian energy?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here.
Let's be honest.
All right, so that is a daunting check for them.
Yeah.
That's great. I like that a lot.
They don't seem very smart.
It's, the reason it's daunting isn't because of that.
They could just be men of few words.
Well, it's Don how good her illusion.
They're bound.
Correct,
No,
yeah.
And they don't see through it at all.
Nice.
So good. In fact, with their 3 threats, Joan gets a little bit of a boost to her deception check here.
Thanks.
Heck yes.
Alrighty.
Because even though they can't see through the illusion, she does still need to make a deception check for...
Because she's not actually a vampire.
Mm-hmm. I'm just bringing some of my friends here to speak with Stefan about some internal business. Now, if you could both step aside.
I think Andressa will come out at this point, because I think she'll need to go inside as well.
Yeah.
And how long does it take to get dressed and do your hair and your makeup? Not too long.
It depends on how much practice you have.
A lot.
She's had decades.
Yeah.
Decades with the exact same face.
It's true. You don't know what.
I sure do know that. I can infer pretty reasonably. I think it's a safe guess.
It's a pretty good guess.
You could have transformed completely in between when Voltaire knew you and now, and then transformed back, but...
Do we get in?
So the guards had to take a second to recover after they see this vampire girl walk up and be like, "No, he's..." But so they just take a second. It's like, "Oh, of course, yes, yes, ma'am," and they step aside. She kind of just makes a little come hither motion to the rest of the group. Come, children.
It's a good thing Cayden wears goggles, because it hides the eye roll that happened underneath that.
Elianna's eyes flash, and then she follows.
Voltaire's just walking with his hand over his mouth, chuckling quietly to himself.
And they... Oh.
I want to know what Andy's clubbing outfit looks like.
Yeah, what does Andy's clubbing
She took the time to put it on. I want to know what it is.
She is wearing a top and a skirt, but it looks like a dress because of the way it connects. And they're both completely that really super tight knit sequins that are as bluish silver. And so the top is a bodice style top that has these off the shoulder kind of draped sleeves, which look very nice because she's very toned because she's an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
She also has this faux wrap sort of mini skirt. And along with the drapery and just the color of the fabric, it's completely sequined, but also has some beading in there, clearish kind of beads, just to help with the light. So it looks kind of like the light reflecting off water. And then she has her leather jacket on top, of course, because it's a vampire club. And she's wearing black Doc Martens, and she has her hair in a loose fishtail braid. And she's taken the bottom of it so there's not the weird kind of ponytail at the end and flipped it up. So it's just kind of this big, flat, very textured object. And she's wearing long drop pearl earrings and a necklace that you can't see what's on the end of it because it goes down into the bodice. But I will tell you right now, it is a cross. Her eyes are it's just sparkle right here. It's just she has pretty big eyelids and it's just sparkle and huge eyelashes. Not that they're probably fake, but they just look so good, you know?
You don't care.
You don't care.
They're fabulous.
You don't care.
Because they're so good.
I don't care. I'm having
and
a
it
great
just kind of
time.
accentuates her already large eyes.
Okay, yeah, Joan's eyes kind of get wide for a second when she...
So it's just kind of a pinkish kind of blush, just kind of to make her look a little more flushed. Mm-hmm. And then a clear gloss kind of to help with the shiny. And of course highlights and
all the rest. Shagirl is speedy.
Yeah, Joan's eyes just kind of widen and her mouth drops open just a little bit when she sees Andy walk out and then very quickly schools herself again.
It was probably after the "come here, children," and she sees her and she's she does just a moment, and then just.
She doesn't actually make any motion with her hand. She just
no, I know
very just drop very quickly gains control of herself again.
I don't know if Andy noticed. She's just kind of scooting over there because she's further behind. But I'm glad that I know that.
Right, and the guards open the door for us, and we walk into Sanguine Desires.
Oh, joy. I probably should have mentioned this. It hasn't come up yet necessarily, but I have heightened awareness for you people.
Yay!
Nice.
You're welcome. Oh man, yep.
So we get it to
as long as you are in engaged range with Cayden.
Yep.
Whenever you make vigilance or perception checks, you gain 2 blue die. If you're within short range, you gain 1. Which is beneficial for lots of different things. Like if people are searching in the area.
Wait, so that means if Joan's right next to Cayden, she gets 4 blue die total.
Jeez.
Right, because she has uncanny senses. And if anyone else has heightened awareness, then that can help Cayden.
Yep. Uncanny senses.
Remember the Sita Ganji combo? That was insanity.
That was ridiculous.
You're perceptive as all get out.
Yep.
You've never seen a bunch of people that can perceive so good.
All right. So we head into the pitch blackness of Sanguine Desire.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, how dark can you see how dark it is before you go in?
Yes, there are no lights on inside.
Andi does not walk in to this building.
Cayden walks in. It's the same to him.
Cool.
Joan, looks back. Are you coming?
She's kind of eyes the darkness. She's like, no.
Joan holds out her hand, and a small sphere of silver light appears in the air above it, illuminating the entryway. Is that better?
How illuminated is it?
Decently.
Like you can see what's around?
Yeah, you can see, because there's a little bit of a hallway before the main floor of the place. But yeah, so you can see the entryway. Okay. It's not like it's noonday inside.
Yeah.
But you can see with a decent amount of clearness.
Okay. Andi still looks somewhat
hesitant.
Hesitant, that's a good word. I guess that's fine. I guess that will work. And she's kind of gingerly steps in.
The guards kind of give Andi weird looks.
Does she see them give her? No, she's too focused on being scared.
All right.
Elianna walks towards the nearest visible light switch and hits it.
Is there a light switch visible?
No.
The face you made. All right, she doesn't do that then, I guess.
Well, I was just thinking, because this was a place designed by vampires, I don't think they would put a light switch.
They have human patrons.
Yeah, and the place is lit mostly by black lights when it's open.
Okay, I see. The face you made was like,
No.
No.
Voltaire would call back and just be like, are you ladies coming?
Andi just gets a real, grumpy look on her face, and she just yells back, and I don't even feel comfortable saying this because of the household I was raised in. It's not a swear either. Okay. She just sorry. She's just like, Voltaire, shut up.
Joan smiled real big at Andi. It's like, yes.
Cayden,
where is Voltaire in relation to Joan?
A few feet into the building.
Dang it. Okay.
I don't remember where Cayden is. Cayden was going on. He didn't really stop at all, but he does stop at the shut up.
Pretty close to Joan because Joan is currently a light source.
Elianna's up where Voltaire is.
Sometime today might be preferable.
They're already walking.
Oh, good. We know that now.
Voltaire?
Yes?
She waits for the door to close behind Andi. Would you rather I made it so you couldn't see in the middle of the night vampire den? Not everyone else, just made it so you specifically couldn't see.
I mean, that's an option. Now, can we please go talk to the leather-clad demons that we came here to talk to?
Yes, that's the plan. we all know it. There's no need to snap at the other members of our party.
Cayden's head doesn't turn back and forth, but like he's stopped and he's listening.
My apologies. My frayed nerves and shattered senses. I spoke before I had time to think.
Think a little next time, because next time I am dropping you into a lightless, soundless void.
He mock salutes.
And he just sort of chuckles.
Can we get moving? Is that...
I thought we were walking.
Yeah, we were all... We've been walking. Yeah.
How
They were threatening me on the move.
Oh.
So
okay.
right after Joan says that, we entered the main floor of the nightclub, and it is also pitch dark except for Joan's silver or light orb. It shows enough illumination that we walk past the empty bar, past a couple of stripper poles, and...
It's a classy establishment. What can I say?
Yep.
And he still does not look comfortable.
But the light does not reach across the full distance.
Yeah, that's why.
Like, kind of like Gandalf and the Fellowship in Moria. There's like that area of light just surrounded by darkness.
Yeah, she doesn't like that.
And Cayden, perception check.
Okay.
Perception check.
It's the same roll as before. Wait, does she have... No, she doesn't have... No one else has heightened awareness. Okay, he just has the normal 2 blue die.
I'm so ready to party.
Yeah, I was like,
Close.
we're gonna be in a whole, like, crowd of people and stuff. But nah. It's 3
Sorry.
p.m. Gosh dang it, Jonathan. Why isn't this nightclub hopping at 3 p.m.?
Because it's not night.
You think there'd be at least a couple day drinkers?
Well, there are now.
Yes, there are.
Right?
All right. Cayden can hear as things start to move beyond the edge of the light.
What does it sound like it's moving? Are we talking about people and clothes shifting, or are we talking about like furniture moving across a floor?
No. So Cayden's the only one can hear because it's the sound of bodies moving through air.
Oh.
Okay, that's important to know.
Moving very fast through air.
Oh, May.
There is no sound of footsteps, and definitely no sound of breathing.
Well, I don't mean to sound alarming in any way,
Andy looks very alarmed.
but just for all of y'all's sakes, we are not alone in this room.
Andy's eyes just look like a big, wide, empty ocean.
And when Cayden says that, a low chuckle begins to spread in a circle from the darkness around us. It's a small chorus of...
Andy grabs onto Joan. She is terrified.
Joan doesn't do anything to put her away.
Because it needs to be specified, all right?
Does this sound familiar to Voltaire?
Like, this isn't one voice, if that's what you're asking. Like, if you're asking if you can recognize the voice, it's a chorus.
Okay.
Joan's light begins to glint off of faint red orbs at the edge of the darkness. Quite a lot of them.
I assume these are eyes.
Yes.
Because orbs make it sound like they're big.
As nearly 24 pairs of burning red eyes appear around us.
I really thought we were going to party.
There's still a chance for that.
Maybe.
Then the, like, as if on cue, the like laughter just stops, and a figure steps out from the crowd of red eyes. And this guy looks like the protagonist, the male protagonist, male love interest of every vampire romance. Incredibly pale, with dark black hair and a like very teen romance actor face. He has a pair of tight leather pants and a black button shirt that is open to show off his pale abs.
Because, you know, every love interest has to have sick abs.
Check out my bajillion ab muscles.
Except there is a much more dangerous edge to him than Joan and Voltaire saw in their last visit to Sanguine Desire, as instead of just lounging casually on a chair or a couch, he almost stalks towards the group like a predator. His eyes just as bright, if not brighter, than all of the others surrounding us.
Well, I mean, I'd be kind of pissed off if somebody woke me up in the middle of the night with an entire party.
Voltaire.
Stefan, how are you?
Not happy.
I can sympathize. I wouldn't be very impressed if somebody had woken me up in the middle of the night. I assure you, I haven't lost what I have left of my sanity. It is rather urgent.
What brings you and your glances at the rest of the group and lets a lazy smile spread across his face? That smile kind of showing off his fangs, and his eyes linger all over Andi for a moment. And he takes in a little bit of a breath through his nose, just smelling her fear.
Lovely.
And just closing his eyes when he does it. Friends.
I imagine you've surmised that the Inquisition is in town.
When Voltaire says that, his face just snaps back to Voltaire. There's hissing from all around the circle.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yes, we are aware of your little turf war.
Turf war, yes. Little, debatable.
4 of my own have already gone missing.
Stefan, I regret to inform you, but I have a pretty good idea what happened to them.
As do I.
Then we have a common interest.
Why do you think the Inquisition chose this city?
Well, I'm about 95% sure it was because I was here.
Oh, and I was going to lay the blame on your masters. But you say I have you to blame for the deaths of 4 of my clan?
I say you have me to thank for the order not ransacking your place a few months ago. Nikolai, you remember Nikolai, my boss, he holds up his hand. He was this close to unleashing the most literal hell you can think of into your tiny little nightclub. I didn't have to stop him, but I did. You can wreak whatever vengeance you deem necessary after we rid the city of the Inquisition.
And what does all this have to do with us? Why do you come here?
Well, let's just say me and my employers are at a crossroads.
You're on the outs with your boss?
This is the first time they've kicked me off a job since I started working for them.
I imagine that must be very frustrating for you.
Well, there's that, and I've had some, let's call them revelations, that have changed a few of my overall priorities.
I have yet to see what any of this has to do with me.
I'm coming to you because we have a common enemy, and I figured, well, to be honest, we need the help.
So, it would seem me and mine owe you and yours a life debt.
It would seem that way.
And you wish sanctuary?
I wish assistance.
Of what kind?
I guess you and yours would call it of the banquet variety.
What?
Sounds like you're asking him to eat us.
Basically, that's what it sounds like.
No. I mean, this is coming. This has a point.
Okay.
We are planning to figure out where the Inquisition is headquartered, and as you can see, we are kind of outnumbered by them.
There is no debt that I could ever incur from you that would require me to send myself and my clan to their deaths. The Inquisition are warriors of faith. You can feel the disgust in his voice when he says that. In case you have forgotten, faith is a bane of ours.
It is rather noxious, isn't it?
Assisting you in such a way would be suicide. If you wish to stay with us, I can assure you safety under guest right, with all of the protections and privileges and responsibilities that affords. So, for a quick out-of-universe rundown here, the supernatural world runs by much older laws than anything you'll find in the United States. They deal primarily in more medieval codes of conduct. And as such, the guest right is basically sacred among the supernatural world. When a supernatural entity or person accepts you as their guest, and you accept them as your host, you are both bound under magical law to you basically become a honorary member of their family for the duration of your stay. They cannot deliberately harm you in any way. They are honor bound to see to your protection and to your sustenance.
But they can also give you chores.
But as their guests, you have a responsibility to not harm any member of their household, to not provide insult to your host in any way.
What do we consider an insult?
It's whatever the host considers, technically, isn't it?
To an extent. You have to be polite.
I mean, like, if you do some sort of faux pas, you didn't know that was a thing for them.
Depends on how bad. There is no real spirit of the law with the supernatural.
Yeah. Well, the things I know that, so I'm just asking about the vampires.
Yeah, so
they're not like the Fae.
True. But, so yeah, if you were to accidentally drop a cross on one of their faces, there might be a problem there.
Sounds like
There's some gray areas. There's an element of plausible deniability that can come into things if you wanted to stretch the limits. My advice would be to not try.
Drop crosses on their faces.
Don't. In other words, push your luck.
That was a quickly thought up and not great example.
The old social faux pas of accidentally throwing your cross at a vampire's face.
Oh no! Oh, I'm so sorry.
My bad. I'm so sorry.
Oops, I did it again.
A better example would be if you had a cross around your neck and you hugged one of them.
Oh, no one
would
would.
So let's not do that.
No hugging.
Okay, I don't think Andressa wants to hug anyone here.
You can only hug us.
Fair enough.
What if they hug you?
I think that's a gray area.
Yeah, I guess
like
it would have been
bad.
polite to warn. If you wore a cross, it'd be polite to tell them.
They could make
You
an
shouldn't
argument
hug
of
me, I guess.
non-disclosure, but
Right, but like that feels more gray area-esque. But like, if we're not wearing a cross, it's probably polite to accept that.
we can argue the
Does it matter
intricacies
if?
of
Okay, here's
guest
the thing.
rights.
Does it have to touch? Does the cross have to touch them?
I think skin to cross contact, right?
If you are not actively like channeling your faith through it, then yes.
Okay, because it's like under her clothes. It's like
so someone with
it's
strong
like a long chain, so it probably doesn't matter.
So someone with strong enough faith could like hold a cross out and like they couldn't even and like repel them.
But trying to do that.
Yeah, if you're not actively trying, then yeah, it's just skin contact.
It's just jewelry.
Okay.
Currently.
Okay. All right. So we were just
he offered guest right.
He offered you guest right as repayment of the debt.
Would that cover having things delivered to here?
What?
Like what?
Like supplies.
Like, would they sign for our packages, or what do you mean? I don't understand.
Can I put you on my list of recommended Amazon shipping addresses? That's cool, right?
They would not be required to like
They wouldn't be required to supply us.
No. Beyond, like, food comfort.
Okay. So, okay.
Just sanctuary.
Just sanctuary.
Basically.
Voltaire holds out his hand. He's like, we have a deal. Your debt is repaid.
Stefan smiles and takes the hand. And no one, I think Cayden might, and maybe Joan would feel just that slight shift in tension in the air.
I don't know. Andi feels a little bit more relaxed now that that's over, whatever the heck.
Oh, no, you might personally have that. I mean, like, there's a sort of metaphysical shift that happens when a deal is made.
And especially one as ancient as guest right. It's pretty binding.
But yeah, and then so once
there was some like normal tension in the air that was released though.
Oh yeah, no, so the actual like just non-magical sense, once that handshake happens, the red eyes around us like fade back into the shadows, and Stefan like waves a hand and black lights turn on around the place, along with some other like smaller lights, giving it the nightclub atmosphere again. Instead of
Can I know what this nightclub looks like, just for personal enjoyment?
It is a so it doesn't look nearly so it's mostly empty now. The vampires basically just away for the most part, except for Stefan and a few others. So there's several stripper poles and platforms throughout the place. Along one wall, there are what look like private rooms separated from the rest of the place by black curtains.
Nice.
What shape is the room? Is it a square or like a circle or like a...
it is a square.
Pentagon. Okay.
And there are...
Pentagram?
I was about to say pentagram.
Sure. It could be a pentagon.
No pentagram.
And pentagram, like the 5-pointed star.
Bad way up.
And there's like, it's lit just enough to barely be able to see. Normally there'd be a like foot-high blanket of fog on the ground, but that's not there right now. And I don't know, it does feel like it's definitely empty. There's not the like heavy music playing or anything.
It's just like a room.
It's everything. The place is painted all black with like some decoration in white to show against the black light, and some other colors. There's some like vampire stuff along the walls, like set at like some fangs. Or
what color's the floor?
The floor is black with strips of pale green.
What year was the building built? Who constructed it? What contracting company constructed this building?
Oh my goodness.
And we get access to the blueprints of this building.
Stefan is like, what? Why? I mean, yes, but why?
Oh, and there's also an upraised area that is like with a sign that says VIP. And Stefan kind of walks over there and lounges in a couch at the front of the VIP area.
Wait, is that like an upstairs area?
Not like a full upstairs. There's just like a small set of stairs and like a rope that says VIP on it.
So like a raised platform in a way, I guess. Like, that's where Joan and
Voltaire
had their last conversation, right? With Stefan was up in that VIP area. Yeah. Got it.
Well, Andy's gonna like let go of Joan when the lights turn on, just kind of take his steps back. She's relieved that this is kind of over and the lights are on.
Joan's slightly disappointed.
Oh my god. All right.
Voltaire's walking over and sitting on a couch or a chair.
Most of my people will return to their slumber, but I shall remain awake to be your courteous host.
You have my thanks.
I will summon some of our mortal employees to serve you in whatever way you require.
I assume by summon he means like give a call to.
It's like, hey, can you come in
early?
You're on call, right, Bethany? Bethany, you're on call?
Yeah, overtime.
Oh, you switch shifts with Ben? Okay. So I'll call Ben then.
And he waves to a couple of the remaining vampires, and they bow their heads and vanish. Feel free to anything at the bar until our employees can come and more fully serve you.
Where is the bar? Is it in this room?
Yeah.
Okay, Elianna's at the bar. Elianna's behind the bar.
Cayden will thank you kindly, and he'll make his way towards the bar as well.
Howie, and welcome to roughly the middle of the episode. I really hope you're enjoying it so far. I personally really love this session quite a bit. And if you are enjoying it, please consider telling a friend. Speaking of friends, at this time I'd like to thank Aimee Clark, Richard Wyatt, Shane Rumon, and Lucius Myers for being our wonderful, generous patrons. If you would like to become a wonderful, generous patron as well and hear your name in this list every episode, you can go to patreon.com/thegenesysarchives. and sign up there for some fun prizes and bonus content and such. You can also find us on Tumblr, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and all of those links, plus our Discord server, will be in the description of this and every other episode. Again, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of whatever time it is. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. Bye-bye!
Joan just shrugs and is like, anyone want anything mixed?
Nope, thank you. Elianna's looking for the cheapest, least flowery alcohol there is in this place.
Wow.
Vodka.
She has spent 3 years drinking the finest, most flowery wine, and she's sick of it.
So you're gonna either want vodka or single malt whiskey.
Boy, oh boy.
Cayden's going for bourbon if there's bourbon.
We're doing whiskey.
Nice.
Elianna pours herself some.
Whatever everyone else is having.
Everyone else is having like 5 different things.
Joan's gonna make something a little more fruity for herself.
Elianna gets a whiskey and she sits down and she just glares at it.
Joan likes to enjoy the taste of her drinks.
That's cool. Hey, appreciate your own art, you know?
Fair.
You're a craftsman.
Andy's going to sit down in whichever bottle is closest to her. She's not.
She's like, I don't know what this is, but I'm drinking it.
Yeah. There's stuff that you drink to enjoy, and there's stuff that you drink to get drunk. But
Andy's not really doing either. She just doesn't really have a lot to do.
But one thing that is very out of place is that Voltaire is not currently at the bar.
Yeah, no, that's...
I did think that was weird.
Freaking...
So one of the vampires appears next to Stefan and whispers something in his ear. If you will please excuse me, if any of you require my assistance with anything, you can speak to Remuel here, and he will assist you if he can, and if not, he will summon me.
And just kind of gives a peace sign.
Cayden nods.
As she drinks whatever it is in her glass.
By this point, we're the only ones there, except for Remuel, who's kind of just off near, just barely in sight.
Jonathan, what is she drinking?
Well, it depends. You said you grabbed the bottle closest to you. Who'd you sit next to?
Yeah, I know.
That's
true. I don't know. Yeah. Who did I sit next to?
You sit next to Elianna, sit next to Cayden.
Who
I'm assuming
on the right side of the bar?
You mean like the side where there's stools? As in not on the side where all of the...
No.
Or like,
Who's on the
We're
correct side?
Assume we're on the side with stools.
Mhm.
And there's a left and a right of this.
I
There's all the stools on the left and all the stools on the right.
I was picturing Elianna in the like far left.
Cayden's somewhere near the middle, so he's more right than Elianna is.
He would be. He's from the south. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, my character's so depressed. My brain's in a weird space.
Oh my god.
Where do you sit? Where's Joan?
I'm assuming she's behind the bar, isn't she?
Joan is moving around behind the bar to mix her drinks.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's making something.
So you have Cayden and Elianna.
Well, I think she sits on the right, and I guess it's not near either of you. So she's going to lean over the bar and grab something from under the counter.
Like the far, like okay, so we have Elianna far left, we got Cayden in the middle.
Oh my goodness.
I have like 5 drinks that I know the name of, so I'm going to roll a 4-sided die.
I love
Excellent.
it. Excellent.
Excellent. I love it. That's-
Yeah, okay, yeah, she grabs a bottle of vodka.
Boy, oh boy. All right, Andy. I see you. Jeez.
Before
And whatever kind of glass she grabs as well.
Okay.
Could be a wine glass.
Something. Before Cayden starts drinking, I want him to make a perception check specifically to gauge where everyone is at emotionally.
Oh my gosh. This should be illegal.
That would be versus whoever's got the highest cool.
I have the
Oh, you
highest
should be
school.
fine. You should be fine.
I think I
What
have
is-
the highest school.
What is your cool?
My cool is a number of dice.
Yes, it is.
Every time
As is mine.
every time a check is about to happen, I'm like, oh right, I forgot. Eliana's cool is 4 yellow.
Jeez.
That's really good.
You're slightly better than Jones.
Now, at the same time, I feel like Eliana's been
That's true.
in a state.
I think it is fair to either add black die to this or use the second highest cool.
I think it would be blue die because he's the one making.
Yeah, because I'm the
Right.
one making the check.
But yeah, I would say use the second highest cool because Joan is a lot more composed than Elianna right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I know sense of motion applies to social checks, but the fact that it says sense of motion, could that give some kind of...
Could we give that the literal meaning?
I mean, that's not very fair completely because I already have uncanny senses, so probably no. But
I'll allow it.
He doesn't like it, but he'll allow it.
okay.
You
All right.
also get yeah, no, that's all. Okay.
If there were black die, you have to at least remove 2 because it is an act for perception. But if there are more than that, then absolutely put them in.
All right. You can with this many advantages, you can get a pretty clear read on Andi and Elianna, and a partial read on Voltaire.
You know, this is the first time I have had a character drink in game.
It is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Evan
did
Drinking competition.
drinking contest.
Drinking contest. She
The
sure
one she
did. She got so drunk. She spent a whole episode freaking drunk, and it was amazing.
It created such
Oh my
great
That was so
character moments. It was so awesome. I loved that.
delightful.
Oh, you're right.
I'm reasonably
Evan
sure a
drunk
couple
was-
characters almost got murdered because she was drunk.
So partial read on Voltaire,
probably.
a solid
Remember
read
this episode at
on.
all.
Okay.
Well, you were drunk. I don't know
All
what
right,
to tell you.
so this is in smells. So he is smelling your emotions. So you don't have to go super deep.
Right.
Other than what emotions is he smelling coming off of your character?
Whose initiative order has Aimee first?
Ellie. Okay, Aimee, you go first.
Oh, okay. I need a second to figure it out.
Okay.
Anyone else have a clearer read on what their character's feeling?
I mean, Voltaire, he only gets a partial read on Voltaire. So, what just in passing would it probably be? Frustration.
What did
You probably smell
What is the strongest emotion Voltaire is feeling right now?
guilt.
Oh, that's interesting.
shoot. Frick. Okay, I gotta write these things down.
I'm not that surprised. You did get hit by the Confessor.
That's true.
Well, there's that, but the strongest, you get a whiff of this centuries-old guilt.
Ooh.
That would debilitate most any other person.
Jeez.
Interesting. Got it.
All right, Caitlin or Aimee, you guys gotta...
I'll go. You're, like, it's difficult, if you're getting a solid read on Elianna, like, it is difficult to pick apart exactly what is happening because there is a lot. It is very conflicted and really intense, but probably the standout things are bitterness, was stated last time. There's there's bitterness, there's shame, there is fear, and there is just a touch of rage. And it is roiling, but stifled.
So I will say this. Cayden, like since we didn't really explore this last campaign very much in his ability to actually detect these things, I'll say this. It is not his custom goal in any way whenever he makes whenever he tries to perceive things on people, to determine what their emotions are. When it comes to making a social check, he'll make a guess and things like that. But there's a lot of tension right now. He usually never does this because in a way he learns more than he really wants to.
That's fair.
That's probably why he spends a lot of time alone.
He's a smart guy.
So this is this will probably be the only time he will ever use it, especially this season, but maybe in the entire campaign itself.
There you go.
So there it is. That will explain why he hasn't done it before. And he's definitely feeling it now. But yeah, thank you. All right.
Welcome.
So, Andi, there's just I don't know if exhaustion is an emotion, but it is right now. Just really, really tired. It has been she hasn't been up for that long. She woke up at 12? She's been up for 3 hours.
Kind of late, yeah.
And she's just tired mentally, just of everything that's going on, along with she's not really sad. I think that's probably the strongest one.
Strongest is exhaustion. She just feels tired.
Yeah, just mentally, kind of emotionally tired. There's other stuff, so hold on.
Down.
There's
other stuff, so sit down.
Oh, it's not that bad. I have to put it and figure out emotion words. There's some satisfaction there just because she's able to sit down and do nothing for once.
He'll just sense that she feels satisfaction. He probably can't.
Yeah, you don't
tell what it is.
Yeah, you don't know
the reasons.
The details of why.
He doesn't get the reasons.
See, think of it kind of if you've seen Lie to Me. He'll know the emotion you're feeling. Okay. He'll know what you're feeling, and he'll know, and he could tell if you're lying, but the thing is figuring out why.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's pretty clear. Well, you can't see, but if you could see, it's because she's drinking.
Okay. Right, so satisfaction.
She's not an alcoholic, but she's had 1.5 days.
It's been a day.
It's been a minute.
It's still been 24 hours.
It's been a moment.
I think probably the second, there's underlying anything that you would kind of have her. Oh, there's also the residual fear that she felt, but that's kind of fading.
He can guess easily for that one.
That one's not hard. And just underlying everything is just simmering hatred.
Whoa. Okay.
Well, that's fun.
That's okay. All right. Okay.
This is why having this power comes with great responsibility.
Sure does.
And that we won't do it ever again.
Yep.
Dang. Okay.
Everyone's
hatred that, I don't know, kind of like Voltaire said, his is centuries long. Not that long, but like it has been there a while. Like it is not some new strong hatred. That's why it's like simmering. It's been sitting there pooling.
I love it. So that's what you get from everyone. From Joan, you get just like nothing. Like she's not letting anything out.
That's telling enough as it is.
Love it.
See, I love this. I love that he actually got reads on everyone but Joan, because he's been around Joan long enough that he can tell something's off.
By the fact that he can't smell anything.
Not even just that. There was like moments in previous conversations, literally that happened in this session, like how it all went down, was enough for him to tell something's off. And that's why I made a check in the fact that nothing's showing is all he needs to know in that regard. That's why I love that everyone else I got actual reads. I think that's good. That's good for Cayden.
Well, enjoy. Drink it up.
Oh, that gives so many options. Gosh dang it. Oh.
I have a quick question.
What?
So I wasn't paying attention, which is why I joked about construction companies. How big is it? Is it possible to have a private conversation in this room without going into a private room? Like, is it a big room or not?
It is big. And Remuel is definitely out of standard hearing range.
I'm talking about Remuel.
Oh,
I don't care about Remuel.
Everyone else is at the bar.
Except for Voltaire.
Except for Voltaire.
How far away is Voltaire?
How far away is Voltaire would be the question. Yes, it's a big enough room that you could have private conversations without going to a private room. You just have to be a decent ways away.
Okay. Is Voltaire within hearing distance of the bar? So I could strategize.
You there, Zander?
I don't know where the couches are.
You decide.
Right next
you
to the
decide
VIP.
with your own creativity.
That where you are? You go at the couches?
Yeah, I said I followed Stefan and went and sat at the couches.
Okay, I did not hear you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, he's back.
And yes, you are out of earshot.
Cool.
What's going on?
I'm just establishing that Voltaire is out of earshot for reasons that it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Voltaire's, you got like Remuel like 10 feet away from you, just kind of standing there.
Cool.
It's actually interesting. Remuel is standing still in a way that humans cannot.
I could stand so impressively still.
Because humans, we fidget, we breathe, Remuel right now looks more like an incredibly detailed statue than a person. He's not breathing, he's not fidgeting, he is just still.
That's cool.
What does he look like?
Remuel, he is...
Because I don't imagine all the vampires look the same.
They do not.
The love interest's less attractive cousin?
He does not really look anything like Stefan. He is African American, very, very dark.
That's ironic.
I like it.
And, well, just because you're dead doesn't mean you lose your race.
The melanin flees your skin as soon as you become a vampire.
So he's very dark, and he's got like his head almost shaved. Like he's got like maybe like a centimeter of hair over his head. And he's got those red eyes.
There's a shocker.
And he is shirtless.
Okay. Cool.
It's in his contract.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that one.
Plot twist. It is a nightclub.
This is the sexy vampire nightclub.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, but it's not open.
It's still the sexy vampire nightclub.
True. He is not, but he's not wearing like tight leather pants. He's just wearing like
pajama pants with little bunnies on them.
No, that's not people's taste.
No, the little bats. The two bats.
Remuel has a pair of like gray sweatpants on.
All right.
I love it.
I actually overall like that look a lot.
Chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Turn your camera back
Is he
on.
wearing shoes?
I can't. It's
No.
too sad.
Okay. That would
See.
be weird.
No shoes, just shirtless with gray sweatpants.
Got it.
Slippers?
There's the boy.
No. Bare feet.
It's feet.
Keep his feet warm.
Does Cayden do something?
That's true. But
Well,
it's comfortable.
he's first gonna take. He'll do that first, and that's right after he does that. He'll take a drink. To you, it'll probably just sound like a quick, just like intake, like a deep breath, and then just like a follows, and then there's a.
Same.
And he'll just take a swig of some bourbon. So there'll be a beat. If Elianna is going to move away towards Voltaire, she could do it now, but the beat will probably only be about 5 seconds.
I think like right at the end of that 5 seconds, Elianna leaves the bar and takes the drink with her, which she has not touched. She's touched the outside of it. She hasn't drunk any yet. She's gonna head over to where Voltaire's at.
Okay. Then Cayden, upon hearing Elianna and the intense cloud of emotion moving away from the bar,
You just hear.
pretty much. I like it. That's good. Cayden will pick up his glass and the bottle of bourbon and make his way down to the right side of the bar.
Okay.
And he'll sit not right next to Andi, but like one stool away, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. He'll sit down, kind of just sigh, just, well, that certainly went exactly as we planned.
Andi assumes you're talking to someone else.
Is there literally, like, okay, where's Joan? And does she make her way?
Joan is sitting on the one of the shelves behind the bar, like on the opposite wall.
Okay.
And just drinking her little fruity drink.
Is she near?
Does it have an umbrella in it?
It does.
Yes.
Of course.
I love it. Is Joan near where they are?
Yeah. Definitely. She's not right in front of where, he would have to be to be facing Joan, he'd have to be turned
a little bit to the left, right?
He's closer to the middle.
Right. Where he was, but yeah. Okay. All right. That's funny. Okay. Fun. I like, so Andi doesn't respond at all to that? Not even like a, just nothing?
Nothing.
Fun.
Look over to them.
Andi's not really looking at him. She's just kind of looking blankly.
You doing all right, Andi?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
She blushes a little bit. Yeah, I'm doing just swell. She kind of raises her drink.
He might have noticed. I don't know. That's such a small thing. It's probably hard. He probably didn't notice that. And he just kind of nods. So, forgive me for asking, but I don't really know that much about you. Just like a smidge that I heard from Voltaire, and that's about it.
She just, the expression darkens and storm clouds gather in her eyes. And she turns her head and glares at Voltaire. He could probably feel it.
So, as interesting as it would be to find out more about that particular thing.
Now she glares at you.
That would be very helpful if you weren't talking to a blind man.
It doesn't matter.
He could probably sense the storm of emotions as it's moving, but can't directly tell it's directed at him. He's like, whatever. Why did you join up with us?
She's not really in the mood to talk anymore.
So she's an angry drunk.
She wasn't. No, not generally. You would know what kind of drunk she is.
She's a person with whom you have taken the wrong opening line.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, because this is just where I'm supposed to be right now.
Well, all right. Pretty interesting. How do you know that?
How does anyone know that? Really?
Well,
Somebody told me.
Somebody told you to join up with a group with a considerable. He glances over in the direction he thinks Voltaire is in. Considerable, antagonistic relationship and a bunch of other people who don't really seem like they should be together, but somehow are, is where you were told you were supposed to be.
Hey, Jonathan, how long has it been since we started drinking?
Not very long.
So someone told you to join up with a group of mismatched misfits, including someone with not the best past relationship related things, somewhat antagonistic. I don't really know. But someone told you you had to be here? This isn't really the safest or the easiest place to be.
That's okay.
Really?
Yep.
Can I ask why it's okay? Because I'd say, forgive me.
It isn't?
Well, to be frank, it's not really normal for most people to be cut up in business like what we have. I mean, even with my job, I don't get caught up in this kind of mess. I mean, I have before, but it's kind of a exception to the rule.
Are any of us really normal here?
You hear Joan kind of laugh at that. No, you're really not good with people, are you, Cayden?
I don't try to be. It's more that when I deal with people, I just want to make sure that they know what it is that they're getting into before moving forward.
I just think it's funny because, Andi is not even that closed off. You just, started so horribly.
Yeah, Joan Cayden, maybe you could, she walks over to you two. Maybe you could take a step back from this one.
And Cayden just nods and just like, fair enough. Then he just backs away.
I'm sorry.
Over to the middle of the bar again.
I'm sorry about him. He's a lot better at fighting monsters than he is at talking to people.
It's fine. Just kind of takes a swig of the vodka.
I'm just going to say this now. Cayden wanted Joan to approach Andi.
Oh.
So he was being bad at this on purpose.
You don't even need
Somewhat.
You don't need that master plan talent to do it.
It didn't necessarily have to be a master plan. He has thoughts on what he wanted to accomplish. And I guess he just did really good, as in by doing really bad.
Okay. That's some pretty heavy drinking there.
She kind of looks at the bottle. Oh, yeah, probably.
I'm guessing you have experience in that department then? Or at least a strong constitution. Most people don't just start downing vodka with such relish.
Yeah. She's kind of used a distant look. Definitely not the first time.
Issues when your character is much better at talking to people than you are.
Hey.
Hey. Is Joan...
Is resilience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably ranked than that.
Joan would almost certainly know what to say here, but I don't know if I do.
Just be Joan. And by be Joan, I mean be you. Because you are Joan. Follow your heart.
But not too much.
Because Andi doesn't seem interested.
So how are you holding up?
Oh, about this well. And she just takes another swig.
I can get that.
You?
I've got a good poker face.
Cool.
He's back.
Oh.
No, all she said was, cool.
And you
Okay.
get a bit of
Cayden moves further down to the far end of the bar, as if to give them some space. But he's listening.
And he doesn't even notice. She's actively not being perceptive.
I know it's a bit of a cliche, but to
my eyebrow.
Well, you know, bartender talking about your problems.
You're right. Yeah. Were we talking about problems?
Well, I was going to ask. That's why I prefaced with, I know it's a cliche.
Man, Andy's just a dark cloud today. It's so great. Okay.
But is there something you'd like to get off your chest?
She just like raises an eyebrow. She's like, not particularly.
Point. Anything you need to get off your chest?
Oh, no. You gotta ask more specific questions, man.
I know.
Make comments about the general situation. Maybe comment on the fact that she's never got any problems to talk about.
Just don't mention Voltaire. That's
don't
bad
talk.
subject.
As long as you don't talk about Voltaire, it's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
Okay, I'm sorry. I am not good with people.
So
Unless you're offering to drop him into the soundless, lightless void again.
That's true.
We can help with that.
What about you?
The turnaround.
You said your godmother was following us. That's gotta be fun.
There's a smile from Cayden across from the bar.
Joan has a thin smile, and it is probably the brittlest expression that you've ever seen on Joan.
I haven't seen a lot of expressions on Joan,
so far, just of what you've seen so far, she's held up a pretty great facade. Like, it's not like super brittle, like you're not going to tap it and it shatters, but definitely more brittle than anything you've seen from her so far.
Well, Andy's uncomfortable.
I didn't have the best upbringing. What about you?
What about me?
Well, if we're going to be asking about childhood figures.
Well, probably as about as loving as your mother.
Really? That's quite a statement.
Well, they were quite something, weren't they? She just drinks more.
Shoot.
I see you.
All right, so you're probably going to have to make a resilience check at this point after how many chugs has it been of the vodka now?
I've just been waiting. And when you said resilience check, I don't know why, but I heard Brazilian check. I'm like, do I have to check my ethnicity?
Yeah, that sounds
I know I'm Brazilian. You could do the freaking DNA.
What's your
I was confused. I'm like, we're talking about my family, but I think I know.
resilience? What's your resilience?
My resilience is just 3 green because I forgot to put. I just didn't put anything in it because I hadn't been drinking for the past 4 episodes.
All right, you are holding your liquor as of now.
She'll probably put it aside soon. She knows her limits.
So, which side of the coin were your parents then? The negligent or authoritarian?
They were the whole thing.
Negligently authoritarian. I can understand that a little.
And he just kind of nods. She's like, okay.
What brought you into all of this? The crazy world?
That is a story, isn't it?
I like stories.
Well, it was kind of does some math on her fingers. Like, what year is it?
Out of character or in character?
In character.
2020.
Ah, okay, perfect. It was 46 years ago, I think. Things get a little hazy, and she kind of picks up her glass and swirls it. And it was...
I have to say you're looking pretty good for your age then.
I know, right? Was it morning or was it night? I think it was the evening. And I was on a beach in California. And it just had gotten kind of stormy. And you can kind of see the excitement in her eyes as she remembers it. Things had gotten a little stormy. And everyone else was too scared. Too scared to ride the waves. But they were huge. And they were beautiful.
You couldn't resist.
Oh, I don't know how they could. They were gorgeous. And I went out. And it went well for me. But as I was coming back in from a surf, the wave hadn't washed me up on shore quite yet. I saw something in the water. Which was really weird because there was no one, not a soul, on the beach. And it was pulled underwater. So naturally, I dived in. And it was a child. She looks kind of sad. Dragged under the waves. Yeah, but it didn't, pulled it up to shore, and it was fine. It was alive. Just two or 3 years old. And I'd just gotten it to the beach when, I don't know what it was. I couldn't see into the water. It was too murky and it was too gray, and I got pulled under the water. I don't know what happened to the kid. But what happened to me, I was pulled under and I thought it was dark. You can see she does not like this part as much as she liked the beginning. But I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to drown. But all of a sudden, there was a release and I was just floating there, but I was so deep I didn't know how to get to the surface, but I realized that I could breathe. And it was like a voice was speaking to me. And, well, we'll just leave it at that.
Well, so you were on the beach when you got pulled in?
No, I was almost on the beach.
So, but you don't think it was something natural then? It's like something pulled you?
Yeah. And he just looks kind of thoughtful.
Do you have any idea what happened to the baby?
No.
There was no parents or anything?
Nope. And when I came back up, it was gone. She just looks kind of into her drink.
Well, a voice, huh?
She looks back up. Is there a tap? Like on this, like a sink on the bar?
Yeah, but on the other side.
She's gonna stand up and wander over there quickly.
Okay.
And she's gonna pour her drink out into the sink and fill it with water.
Okay.
And can I use my heroic ability?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Please do. Yes.
What is your heroic ability?
That's a great question. I'm going to talk to the water.
Use the heroic ability of 6th sense.
Yes. My favorite heroic ability. It's the coolest one. All right. I don't remember how this works.
You can understand and exchange simple ideas.
Yes, thank you. Also, while this ability is active, I get to heal 2 strain, and everyone else gets to heal 2 strain.
Is that within short range or just everyone?
Within short range.
Yeah.
So Joan and Cayden both feel like a wave pass over them, almost like cool water. That just soothes them and relieves a bit of their stress.
Is that 2 strain?
Yep. Joan's eyes kind of widen at that. Are you asking anything in particular? Or?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah, so she's like she just fills the cup with wine. She's like, ¿Por qué no fiz isso antes? And she, just like sticks her fingers into the water.
Can you translate that for me?
Why didn't I do this before? And you see, I don't have to speak out loud, do I?
No.
Yeah. So she's asking in thoughts and emotions and whatever junk, what happened to the child? Which she has not done before. Because she was talking about it, and then she was like, so the water spoke to you. And she's like, oh yeah.
You get an impression to you're right.
There are 2 people to my right.
No, from where you are at this point behind the bar, there's only 1 person to your right.
Cool.
So you look right and at Joan.
Her eyes just kind of widen.
Joan gets like a kind of confused look. Hello?
She just kind of like keeps looking at Joan, but just takes her fingers out of the water and dumps it back in the sink, and then goes around to the bar and gives herself another drink.
Joan, Voltaire. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get I'm getting my voice prepped. I'm trying to get my voice. Howdy, how you doing? There we go. Okay.
I am here to see your boss.
How tall is Voltaire again?
He's like 6.5 feet, 6'1" on a good day.
Hey, what? That's different.
He's 6'1"? I thought he was
At the beginning
6'3".
of season
6'3"?
1, he was 6'3".
Yeah, he was.
I actually need to write this down. He is 6'3".
Yeah,
he is 6'3".
Because I remembered he was a little taller than Elianna, and Elianna is 6'1".
I remember it because I was
Never mind.
I remember it because I was like, Eliana's gonna be taller than people in this.
I actually read my character sheet, guys.
Nice.
Supposedly, maybe.
Yeah, and you're like exactly a foot taller than Andressa.
All right, so this guy is a sec. I'm trying to think of. Okay, so
it has his height on his.
Yeah, it does have his height on his driver's license.
Right, hair color,
I was just
age.
trying to remember what information is on there. Took me a sec. Yeah. How old is Rian again? 6'1", 6'2"?
25 years old, 6'3", black hair.
6'3". Okay.
6'3"? I thought he was like 6'7"
He was
6'5".
No,
6'4", 6'5".
No, he's 6'3".
What? Okay.
No, he can't be 6'3".
I thought he was at least 6'4".
No, he's 6'3".
He's taller than that because Voltaire is 6'3". And we have...
And you said he was taller than Voltaire.
Most of the picture made it look like he was.
I
have a record.
I'll pull up. I have receipts right here, fellas. I have receipts. You know what? I'm just going to pull up the receipts right now. They're right here. One moment.
Let us consult the records.
The records for the art.
The record states.
The record states that the internet takes a second, and the Genesys audio Google account is not my default login. Okay.
Did I send it to you in a private message, or did I do like...
You sent it to me in a Discord message, but I have a folder with documents and everyone's characters' descriptions. And
yeah, it says here on the message I sent you, Rian is 6'3". I found the pinned message that you did on our private... It says
Rian is 6'3". Wait, how tall is Voltaire? Voltaire is... What? Oh.
Was I right? Was I right?
Well, here's the thing about that. What you sent me, Zander, is that Voltaire is about 6-ish feet tall, is what you sent me. I was wondering why he was, like, basically Elianna's height in the art, but I was like, oh, angles.
Okay, never mind. Okay.
Wow.
Right.
There you go.
I thought he
was right too.
So much taller because, like, the art, he's like 6'7" or something.
Probably angles.
Angles.
Okay. Anyway.
I was right.
Sorry. Let me go back. Let me go back. So ignore what the thing previously said about the suspect.
The one I've always wanted to have is the 4C one. I gotta get that sometime.
Someday. How many musicals did we have happen in each of our heads at that moment?
I had a few.
I had like 6, I think.
I think I have 3.